Hello students, so let's start the last part, that is part 4 of chapter 13, magnets. In today's lecture we are going to learn about the following things. We will learn about magnetization, then what is demagnetization, then what are the ways of preserving magnets, and the last thing is going to be uses of magnets. Starting with what is magnetization. Now magnetization is the process of making a magnet from a magnetic material. So here we can convert any magnetic material, that is iron, nickel or cobalt, into a magnet. Magnets are made by exposing magnetic metals like iron and nickel to magnetic fields. Means we have to expose it to the magnets in some particular manner. There are three methods of making magnets, that are single touch method, double touch method and using electric current. So we will be discussing about all of them very briefly. Starting with the first method of magnetization, single touch method. Single touch method is the simplest method of magnetization. Here, to perform this method, we need to take an iron bar or any other magnetic material and hold a bar magnet in our hand. We have to move any one of its poles over the iron bar, that is from end A to end B. So when the magnet reaches the end B, it has to be lifted and brought back to end A to repeat the stroke. After at least 30 to 40 strokes, we will see that the iron bar has the same polarity as the pole of the bar magnet that it was stroked with. Means here we are stroking the iron bar with north pole of the magnet. So point A is going to develop the north pole and point B or the end B is going to develop south pole. Now the second method of making a magnet is the double touch method. For this, all we need to do is that we need to take two separate bar magnets in our hands and start rubbing the iron bar from center using the opposite poles. For example, if at end A we use south pole of the magnet for swiping, then at end B we need to use north pole of the other magnet. We must swipe from the center of the iron towards its ends. Once the magnet reaches the ends of the iron bar, we need to repeat the strokes by lifting the magnets and bringing them back at the center, again swiping outwards. We have to make sure not to change the direction while we are rubbing. So it is also necessary to lift the magnet from the surface of the object after every swipe or run is completed. Then we have to swipe it again in the same motion as before and we have to continue rubbing the magnet over the object for at least 30 to 40 times. If the process of swiping the permanent magnet over the iron bar has been done correctly, then the small pieces of iron or any other magnetic material will get attracted towards the magnetized magnet and will stick to it. The more times we rub the permanent magnet over our magnetic object, the more powerful our temporary magnet will become. In this case, the polarity of the magnetized iron bar will be opposite to the poles of the magnet that is used to swipe. That is, end A will develop north pole here and the end B of the iron bar will develop south pole. The third method of making a magnet is by using electric current, and the magnets that are made by electric currents are called as electromagnets. So the magnets that are made by stroke methods, both by single touch and double touch method, are weak in nature. So if we need to make a strong magnet, then we need to use the electrical method. The material that we need to make as a magnet is kept inside a coil of wire. So here you can see that a wire is coiled around an iron nail, and the ends of wire is connected to a battery, to both the terminals of the battery. So when the connection is complete, means when both the ends of the wires are connected to the battery, then there is a electric current that starts flowing in the wire. As a result, the iron nail inside the coil starts behaving as a magnet. So these are the temporary magnets. Till the time the current will flow in this wire, till that moment your iron nail is going to act as a magnet. And as soon as we break the connection, it will stop acting as a magnet. And the wire that we use here has to be insulated wire, means you don't have to remove the covering of the wire. Only at the ends of the wire where you have to connect the ends of the battery, only at those points you need to remove the covering of the wires. So this is the electromagnet. Coming on to the next topic of our day, that is demagnetization. The process of demagnetization is exactly the opposite of what we were doing in magnetization. In the process of magnetization, we were making a magnet, but in the process of demagnetization, we are making a magnet lose its magnetic properties. So the process by which a magnet loses its magnetic properties is called demagnetization. And there are three methods of demagnetizing any magnet. They are hammering, heating, and dropping them down. We must not heat, hammer, or drop down a magnet while handling them or while carrying them, because a magnet will slowly lose its magnetic properties if it is subjected to heat or any other mechanical shocks. Weak magnets must be always kept away from the strong magnets. What are the weak magnets? They are the magnetic needles. So if we are storing the weak magnets near any strong magnet, then there is a high possibility that the polarity of the magnet will be reversed, means the poles will not behave in their original manner. The north pole might start behaving as the south pole and vice versa. So they will not be of any use to us. Now, preserving magnets. How do we preserve magnets? We need to keep magnets away from all the kinds of magnetic media such as floppy disks, credit cards, and computer monitors, because all these devices, they have magnets in them and they can alter the magnetic properties. If several magnets are being stored together, then they should be stored in attracting positions. For example, here north pole of one magnet is stored next to the south pole of the other magnet. Store magnets in closed containers with magnetic keepers. So always in closed containers we must preserve the magnets with the magnetic keepers. Now, what is a magnetic keeper? When the magnets are stored for a long time, then its magnetic property starts to fade away. So we must preserve them by using a magnetic keeper. So magnetic keepers are the soft iron bars that are placed at either end of the pair of magnets. Now, what is a soft iron? Is it an iron that is soft to touch? No. Soft iron means the iron that are easy to magnetize, whereas there are other varieties of iron which are called as the hard iron that are very difficult to magnetize. So these magnetic keepers are attached at the poles of the magnet that preserves its magnetic power from fading away over time. Now coming on to the last topic of the day, that is the uses of magnets. Magnets are used in variety of devices such as the electronic devices like television, radio, computers, laptops, digital cameras, phones, etc. Then they are used in the loudspeakers and microphones. Magnets are also used in electric motors and power generators. They have very strong magnets inside them. Then magnets are also used in magnetic storage devices such as tape recorder or hard disk of a computer. Then magnetic strips are used to store information on the credit cards, ATM cards, etc. Magnets are used in many medical devices such as the MRI scanning machines and CT scanning machines. It is also used in magnetic cranes that picks up the iron waste or other magnetic material waste. Now this completes our chapter 13, magnets. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.